you for tuning in into my channel where you'll find all about mixed media, art journal, collage, assemblage and anything else that sparks my interest. Hi, my name is Grob and I'm glad you are here. Hello creative friends, thank you for coming along today again. We have nice weather outside, means I can have open both windows so I get a cross ventilation because I have planned to do something like that. I did play around a little bit and I thought I'm gonna turn that in a little video tutorial. So what you can see here is a alcohol ink background on some synthetic paper, and then I have pieces of plastic foil. There is the heat resistant craft plastic out there on the market, not so easy to have here in Switzerland, but what I use instead is those old foils from the overhead projectors. I do get mine in the thrift store, but because nowadays everybody has a video beamer instead of those overhead projectors, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm just pretending something. Anyway, I also have pre-made envelopes, pre-made card bases, and some mat which I cut from colored papers. I did use two colors for this variation. This is a metallic lilac. I know it's hard to see with the glare. And this is a plain black. So I'm not going to use those again. I want to try out other colors, of course. So I have an indigo blue and a gold. That's what I'm going to do for the next. I'm also going to switch up the stamps. I do have a butterfly this time, and the colors gonna be somewhat similar, blue-greens for the background and some reddish and copper, metallic copper and metallic gold for the second step, which gonna be with stencils. Any kind of stencil works except paper. That doesn't work. It has to be some sort of plastic. Some are both are homemade. One is with the die cut machine with the Brothers Can and Cut, and the other is just hand cut from scrap pieces of plastic from packaging, which is rather thick compared to that, but they work. With no further ado, let's dive in. To get a light background, I add first some 99% alcohol to my whole surface, so that when I add the colors, they are already a little bit diluted. And I really recommend having gloves because they stain permanent. And I'm just playing. And I want it really light, so I'm gonna move it around until I have more or less color everywhere. I did cut my piece slightly bigger than what I needed in the end. I always can cut back. And very carefully you can use the heat tool, but really don't go too close. Okay, it is dry, and just thinking maybe better over here, yeah, less glare. So I do place my stencil. I think I want it half off on this side or on this side here, something like that. And now I'm gonna add some colors into my stencil. It's not gonna hold back completely, but it's gonna stop it a little bit from spreading around. Now I do have the border here from the stencil, which I don't really want. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add just the tiniest bit of blue again, just to make it less obvious. And now again, I'm gonna let it dry naturally, so I will be back when it is dry. And what I do, I make like a strip of little stones, pebbles, whatever you want to call it. I have planned to do them in gold, but I think I'm gonna mix gold and white. I'm not so convinced with the white, so I'm gonna go over. So it moved around quite a bit, more than what I have planned, but hey, that's the thing with alcohol ink. You don't know always how it comes out. Okay, while my piece is still drying over here, I'm gonna work on my clear plastic piece. Gonna emboss it. Again, it is plastic, you have to be careful, so you have to move really quickly around so you don't melt your plastic, just your embossing powder. So if you do it the first time, I recommend make some pieces more than what you think you need, just so you can pick the nicest one. It's a little bit of an experience. So there is a smooth side and a non-smooth side to this foil. So I'm gonna stamp on the non-smooth side. If you have those craft plastic, as long as I know, they are smooth on both sides, but hey, you just have to be a little bit more careful that you don't move your stamp around. And as always, when I do stamp and I want a clear impression, which I this time really want, because I want a clear image of this butterfly with the postal stamp, I like to work on some fun foam, just so I can press it really well in, so I get all the details much easier. And I make sure that I have a well saturated ink pad with embossing ink, and yes, it is gross, it gets gross. The first time you use it, it gets black on it, or I don't know what. It's just the way it is. It doesn't affect your embossing though. So I tried, and I know it's kind of, yeah, you actually can see it. I tried to put it somewhat in a good spot and give it some time to transfer. You could use an acrylic block to press it down if you like, but well, I'm lazy sometimes that way. I just hope for the best. Okay, that's the first one. Let's see. I have a scratch piece of paper and I'm gonna add my powders. Now, if you like, and you have like stray bits, which you probably can't see, I have here something. Can you see that? No, there's something I don't want. I just remove it, and this one here too. I like to work on one of those heat resistant stones. It's just, I have like a plasticky thingy here on my table so I can clean up easily, and yeah, I ruined more than one of those plasticky thingies when I was heating up things. The trick to the embossing is make sure that you have the heat before you go down to the embossing powder, so you don't accidentally blow your powders away before they have a chance to stick to the whatever surface you are on. So that's what you always see me put on my gun and then check when it is hot enough, then I go down. I'm gonna mute the sound. For the first one, I'm gonna leave it in the real time so that you can see how long it takes. But I'm gonna put a piece of white paper underneath so you actually can see the process. This stone is already so dirty that you don't see a thing. Okay, but I look for a spot where I have no glare, like here. Okay, I use a tool to hold on my thing so that I don't burn my fingers. Now for the next one, I'm gonna zoom in as much as I can, and just so you know, for the sake of the video, I blow more sideways than what I do when I'm without camera. When I'm just doing for myself, I'm heating it up directly from above, not from sideways. The thing is, if I do that on camera, you won't see a thing. So let's see. Let's zoom in as much as we can. That means we have to move up a little bit and make sure that we are in focus. Again, as I said, I'm gonna speed up this version, but you're gonna be a little bit closer this time. I have already mounted my mat to my card base. Now it's time to choose and pick. So just play around until you are happy how it looks. I think this one's gonna go here, and this, what about you? Again, turn around. That's what I like about the square format things. You can play around until you are happy. So what I do is I use those dots. They're really tiny dots, and I place them very carefully in the corners of my background, alcohol ink background. You can't have too big, those dots can't be too big because we have to cover up with those stones. So now here I do use a little bit more, like 2 per corner. I could go and grab the larger ones also. If I want to mount those things, I usually get up and look from above. It's much easier to place it correctly. Here we go. So I hope you enjoyed this little inspiration and maybe you want to try it for yourself. I hope to see you soon again. Take care. Bye.